Welcome back to another spine-tingling episode of Most Haunted Places in Oregon, where the Pacific Northwest's misty forests, rugged coastlines, and historic towns harbor secrets darker than the shadows themselves. In this 16th installment, we delve deeper into the haunted corners of Oregon, a state as breathtakingly beautiful as it is steeped in spectral lore. From ghostly lighthouses perched on desolate cliffs to eerie hotels cloaked in tragedy, these locations serve as portals to a realm where the past refuses to stay buried. Oregon's haunted places are more than just settings for campfire tales or urban legends. They are living testaments to human emotion, conflict, and loss. Each site carries its own unique story: tragic love affairs cut short, murders shrouded in secrecy, suicides born of despair, and unexplained disappearances that haunt the living long after the deed is done. These narratives aren't mere folklore. They're deeply rooted in documented histories and countless first-hand accounts from witnesses, paranormal investigators, and brave souls who dared to cross their thresholds. In this episode, we'll journey through some of Oregon's most infamous haunted locales, places where the veil between worlds is at its thinnest. We'll explore creaking mansions frozen in time, navigate labyrinthine tunnels beneath bustling cities, and tread cautiously through abandoned institutions teeming with restless spirits. Along the way, we'll uncover chilling evidence captured by EVP recordings, thermal cameras, and eyewitness testimonies, piecing together the tragic events that gave rise to these hauntings. So dim the lights, keep your ears sharp, and prepare yourself for a descent into the macabre. As we step into the haunted heart of Oregon, remember, sometimes, the most terrifying truths lie just beyond the veil, and once you cross it, there's no turning back. The Pittock Mansion, a legacy of grandeur and ghosts perched atop a hill overlooking Portland's sprawling skyline, the Pittock Mansion stands as a monument to opulence, ambition, and the enduring power of memory. Built in 1914 by Henry Pittock, a pioneering newspaper magnate and one of Oregon's wealthiest men, the mansion was designed to reflect the pinnacle of early 20th century luxury. Its French Renaissance-style architecture, intricate woodwork, and panoramic views of Mount Hood make it a jewel of the Pacific Northwest. Yet beneath its polished veneer lies a darker narrative, one marked by personal tragedy, untimely deaths, and whispers of the supernatural. One of the most enduring legends tied to the Pittock Mansion revolves around Georgiana Pittock, Henry's beloved wife, whose presence is said to linger within its walls. Georgiana passed away in 1918, leaving behind a legacy of philanthropy and grace. Visitors frequently report sightings of a woman in period attire wandering the halls, her movements gentle yet deliberate. Some claim to see her gazing wistfully out of windows, her expression tinged with melancholy, while others describe hearing faint humming emanating from empty rooms, believed to be Georgiana tidying up after guests long gone. Another prominent figure in the mansion's haunted lore is believed to be Henry Pittock himself. Known for his meticulous attention to detail, Henry's spirit is said to roam the library and study, areas he frequented during his lifetime. Paranormal investigators exploring the mansion have captured EVP recordings suggesting the presence of a male entity whispering phrases like, "not finished," and "still here." Witnesses describe seeing a shadowy figure resembling Henry pacing anxiously near bookshelves, clutching what appears to be a ledger before vanishing without a trace. The mansion's basement, once used for storage and utility operations, has also gained a reputation for paranormal activity. Employees tasked with maintaining the area often describe hearing muffled voices and the sound of footsteps echoing through the cavernous space, though no one else is present. Objects are known to move inexplicably. Tools vanish only to reappear hours later in entirely different locations. One particularly unnerving incident involved a volunteer who swore she saw a young boy playing with marbles in the corner of the room, only for the child to disappear when approached. Theories abound that the boy may have been a grandchild of the Pittocks, forever trapped in the confines of his childhood home. Modern-day investigations into the Pittock Mansion's supernatural claims have yielded intriguing results. Thermal imaging cameras reveal significant temperature drops in specific areas, including the grand staircase and the library. Electromagnetic field (EMF) meters register unusual spikes, particularly near antique furniture pieces believed to have belonged to original owners. Perhaps the most compelling evidence comes from audio recordings. which captured disembodied voices uttering fragmented sentences like, "I'm sorry," and "Let me go." Despite, or perhaps because of, its haunted allure, the Pittock Mansion remains a popular destination for history enthusiasts and thrill seekers alike. Its rich tapestry of human drama, interwoven with tragedy and loss, creates an atmosphere unlike any other. For those brave enough to visit, the possibility of encountering Georgiana, Henry, or one of the countless other spirits said to roam its halls adds an element of excitement and trepidation. Yet, as each new visitor crosses its threshold, they must decide whether they are ready to face the darkness that lingers within these walls, or will they become another chapter in the mansion's tragic tale. The Shanghai Tunnels. Beneath the streets of Portland, beneath the bustling streets of Old Town Portland, lies a hidden network of underground passageways known as the Shanghai Tunnels, a dark labyrinth steeped in mystery, crime, and unspeakable horrors. Once part of a thriving underground economy in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, these tunnels were allegedly used for illicit activities ranging from smuggling contraband to kidnapping unsuspecting sailors to supply ships bound for Asia, a practice infamously referred to as Shanghaiing. Today, the tunnels remain a haunting reminder of a sinister past, where violence, betrayal, and despair echo endlessly through their damp, claustrophobic corridors. One of the most pervasive legends tied to the Shanghai Tunnels involves the countless victims who vanished without a trace during the height of the Shanghaiing era. Historical records indicate that men were lured into bars above ground, drugged, and then dragged unconscious into the tunnels below. From there, they would be locked in holding cells until they could be transported onto waiting ships. Many never returned, their fates left to speculation. Modern visitors exploring the tunnels report hearing faint cries for help emanating from the darkness, accompanied by the sound of dragging chains and heavy boots stomping along the earthen floors. Some claim to feel icy fingers brushing against their skin or see fleeting shadows darting just out of reach. Another chilling aspect of the tunnel's haunted lore is the presence of women who fell victim to exploitation and violence. Prostitution rings operated openly in certain sections of the underground network, and many women were reportedly held captive against their will. Their spirits are said to wander the tunnels, searching for escape or justice. Tour guides leading groups through the passageways often recount stories of guests feeling an overwhelming sense of sadness or dread in specific areas, particularly near former brothel cells. Others describe seeing apparitions of women dressed in tattered clothing, their faces gaunt and eyes hollow, standing silently in corners before fading into the gloom. Paranormal investigators exploring the Shanghai Tunnels have documented numerous instances of unexplained phenomena. EMF detectors routinely spike in certain locations, particularly near old holding cells and storage rooms. EVP recordings capture faint whispers pleading for help, interspersed with anguished cries. One particularly unsettling discovery came when a team member set up motion-activated cameras overnight, capturing footage of a translucent figure standing motionless at the end of a tunnel before vanishing without explanation. These findings have solidified the site's reputation as one of Oregon's most active haunted locations. Despite, or perhaps because of, its grim history, the Shanghai Tunnels continue to attract curious souls eager to confront their spectral inhabitants. For many, visiting the site serves as both a pilgrimage and a reckoning, an opportunity to honor the lives lost and acknowledge the sacrifices made in pursuit of survival. Whether you're drawn by the allure of its haunting beauty or the weight of its tragic legacy, the Shanghai Tunnels offer an unforgettable experience where the past refuses to fade quietly into oblivion. The Heceta Head Lighthouse, guardians of the coast perched dramatically on a cliff overlooking the Pacific Ocean, the Heceta Head Lighthouse stands as a beacon of maritime safety and a magnet for ghostly encounters. Built in 1894, this iconic structure has guided countless ships safely to shore, but its storied past is not without tragedy. Nestled amidst dense forests and crashing waves, the lighthouse and its keeper's quarters have earned a reputation as one of Oregon's most haunted places, thanks to the mysterious presence of a spectral figure known affectionately as the Gray Lady. The identity of the Gray Lady remains shrouded in mystery, though local lore suggests she may have been the wife of one of the lighthouse's original keepers. Described as kind-hearted yet deeply devoted to her duties, she reportedly spent much of her time caring for the property and ensuring its smooth operation. Tragedy struck when she fell ill and passed away under unclear circumstances, leaving behind a legacy of dedication and sacrifice. Her spirit is said to linger within the keeper's quarters, where visitors frequently report seeing a pale woman clad in gray gliding silently through the halls. Some claim to feel an icy draft pass through them as she drifts by, while others report hearing soft humming emanating from empty rooms, believed to be her tidying up after guests long gone. Another prominent figure in the lighthouse's haunted lore is believed to be Rufus, a former keeper who met a tragic end. According to legend, Rufus became increasingly isolated and paranoid during his tenure, convinced that someone, or something, was watching him from the surrounding woods. His ghost is said to roam the grounds, his ethereal form illuminated by moonlight. Guests visiting the lighthouse have reported seeing a shadowy figure pacing restlessly near windows, his expression frozen in eternal anguish. Others describe hearing faint whispers of warning and cries for help, as though he's still trying to protect the property from unseen threats. The lighthouse's surroundings, thick with ancient trees and howling winds, have also gained a reputation for paranormal activity. Visitors walking along the cliffs often feel an inexplicable sense of dread, as though unseen eyes are watching their every move. Shadows flit across peripheral vision, disappearing when directly observed. Some claim to hear disembodied voices calling out names unfamiliar to modern ears, believed to be the voices of sailors lost at sea. Others report seeing apparitions of men and women in period clothing, their faces gaunt and weary, standing silently amidst the rocks. Paranormal investigators exploring Heseda Head Lighthouse have captured compelling evidence of its supernatural activity. Thermal cameras reveal cold spots concentrated near the staircase and the balcony railing, where many of the tragedies unfolded. Audio recordings pick up fragmented phrases like "help me" and "don't let go," delivered in tones of sheer desperation. One particularly unsettling discovery came when a team member set up motion-activated cameras overnight, capturing footage of a translucent figure standing motionless at the midpoint of the staircase before vanishing without explanation. Despite, or perhaps because of, its haunted reputation, Heseda Head Lighthouse remains a popular destination for tourists and locals alike. Its picturesque setting and rich history make it a favorite spot for photography and leisurely strolls. For those brave enough to venture inside after dark, the promise of encountering the Grey Lady or one of the countless other spirits said to linger adds an element of fascination and trepidation. Yet, as each new visitor steps onto the lighthouse grounds, they must ask themselves, are they prepared to face the echoes of the past, or will they become another chapter in the lighthouse's macabre legacy? The Wolf Creek Inn, echoes of the past nestled in the lush countryside of southwestern Oregon. The Wolf Creek Inn stands as a testament to the resilience of frontier life. A rustic yet elegant establishment that has welcomed travelers since 1883. Originally built as a stagecoach stop along the historic Applegate Trail, the inn quickly became a hub for weary pioneers, miners, and merchants seeking refuge from the rugged wilderness. With its hand-hewn beams, stone fireplaces, and sweeping porches, the inn exudes a timeless charm that belies the darker stories whispered within its walls. Over the decades, Wolf Creek Inn has become synonymous with ghostly encounters, earning its place among Oregon's most haunted locations. One of the most enduring legends tied to the inn centers around Room 3, said to be haunted by the spirit of a jilted lover named Elizabeth. According to local lore, Elizabeth checked into the inn in the early 20th century under the pretense of meeting her fiancé, only to discover he had abandoned her for another woman. Overcome with grief, she took her own life in the room, leaving behind a legacy of sorrow that continues to haunt visitors today. Guests staying in Room 3 frequently report strange occurrences: lights turning on and off by themselves, radios tuning to static-filled stations, and the overwhelming scent of lavender lingering in the air. Some claim to wake up in the middle of the night to find their bedsheets tangled impossibly tight around their limbs, as if restrained by invisible hands. Another prominent figure in the inn's haunted lore is believed to be John Talbot, a Civil War veteran who frequented the property during its early years. Paranormal investigators exploring the inn have captured EVP recordings suggesting the presence of a male entity whispering phrases like "retreat" and "hold the line." Witnesses describe seeing a shadowy figure resembling Talbot pacing anxiously near windows, clutching what appears to be a rifle before vanishing without a trace. The inn's basement, once used for storage and laundry operations, has also gained a reputation for paranormal activity. Employees tasked with cleaning the area often describe hearing chains rattling and heavy footsteps echoing through the cavernous space, though no one else is present. Some claim to see shadowy figures dragging invisible loads, their movements jerky and unnatural. A particularly chilling account comes from a maintenance worker who swore he felt cold metal cuffs snap around his wrists, pulling him backward toward the darkness before releasing him abruptly. Modern-day investigations into Wolf Creek and supernatural claims have yielded intriguing results. Thermal imaging cameras reveal significant temperature drops in specific areas, including the main dining room and the basement. Electromagnetic field (EMF) meters register unusual spikes, particularly near antique furniture pieces believed to have belonged to original owners. Perhaps the most compelling evidence comes from audio recordings, which capture disembodied voices uttering fragmented sentences like, "I'm sorry," and "Let me go." Despite, or perhaps because of, its haunted allure, Wolf Creek remains a popular destination for history enthusiasts and thrill seekers alike. Its rich tapestry of human drama, interwoven with tragedy and loss, creates an atmosphere unlike any other. For those brave enough to book a stay, the possibility of encountering Elizabeth, John Talbot, or one of the countless other spirits said to roam its halls adds an element of excitement and trepidation. Yet, as each new visitor crosses its threshold, they must decide whether they are ready to face the darkness that lingers within these walls, or will they become another chapter in the inn's tragic tale. Patterns across Oregon's haunted places, themes of loss and resilience as we traverse the haunted landscapes of Oregon, from the foggy cliffs of Hasetta Head Lighthouse to the shadowy depths of the Shanghai Tunnels, striking similarities emerge that transcend individual locations and histories. These patterns are not merely coincidental but reflect universal themes of human emotion, unresolved trauma, and the enduring power of memory. From the wailing wards of hospitals to the silent corridors of historic homes, these sites share a commonality that binds them together in a spectral sisterhood of sorrow and suspense. One recurring motif is the concept of unfinished business. Whether it's the victims of unethical experiments, or the betrayed trust of patients subjected to inhumane treatments, these spirits seem tethered to the earthly realm by grievances left unaddressed. Their presence manifests as restless energy, often communicated through auditory phenomena, cries, whispers, or disembodied voices, that serve as pleas for acknowledgement or closure. This theme resonates across cultures and belief systems, reflecting humanity's innate need to resolve conflict and seek peace, even in death. Another shared characteristic is the role of architecture in amplifying paranormal activity. Historic buildings, with their labyrinthine corridors, thick walls, and hidden alcoves, create environments conducive to isolating individuals and heightening fear. These structural elements act as metaphors for the psychological barriers erected by those who suffered within their confines, trapping emotions such as anger, despair, and regret. It's no coincidence that many reported hauntings occur in spaces imbued with emotional significance: operating rooms where surgeries went awry, basements where bodies were stored, or wards where patients met tragic ends. Lighting and sensory manipulation also feature prominently in these narratives. Flickering lights, sudden temperature drops, and inexplicable odors are staples of ghostly encounters, designed to disorient and unsettle. Such phenomena strip away the comfort of familiarity, forcing guests to confront the unknown. The use of mirrors, a recurring element in stories from various haunted hospitals, adds another layer of psychological tension, as reflections distort perception and blur the boundary between self and other. This interplay of light and shadow becomes a tool wielded by unseen forces, creating moments of visceral terror that linger long after the initial shock subsides. Finally, the prevalence of historical context cannot be overstated. Each location's haunting is deeply rooted in its unique past, shaped by the socio-cultural milieu of its time. The brutal medical practices embedded in the DNA of older establishments contrast sharply with the glamorous yet tragic lives immortalized in urban legends. Yet both narratives tap into broader archetypes of ambition, betrayal, and mortality, ensuring their resonance with audiences regardless of personal experience. By drawing on these universal motifs, these haunted places transform from mere buildings into living repositories of collective memory, inviting us to peer into the abyss of our shared humanity. Thus, while each establishment boasts its own distinct flavor of fright, the underlying threads connecting them reveal a tapestry rich with meaning. These patterns remind us that the supernatural is not so much about the entities themselves but the stories they tell, the echoes of lives interrupted, passions extinguished, and truths obscured. As we continue to explore these haunted locales, we find ourselves grappling not only with the specters of the past but with the timeless questions they raise about life, death, and everything in between. The psychology of fear. Why haunted places captivate us? What is it about haunted places that grips our imaginations so profoundly? Beyond the creaking floorboards and flickering lights lies a deeper allure, one rooted in the psychology of fear and the human fascination with the unknown. These sites, by their very nature, are places of vulnerability. They are where we confront our mortality, stripped of autonomy and control, relying entirely on the expertise of others to heal us, or where justice was denied, leaving wounds that refuse to heal. When these spaces become haunted, they amplify our primal fears, transforming familiar settings into arenas of existential dread. The combination of historical context, architectural design, and the lingering presence of past suffering creates a perfect storm of terror that resonates deeply within us. The core of this captivation is the concept of liminality, the state of being on the threshold between two worlds. Haunted places exist in this liminal space, bridging life and death, health and illness, hope and despair. This inherent duality makes them fertile ground for supernatural narratives. Ghosts, as manifestations of unresolved trauma or unfinished business, embody the tension of being caught between states. They serve as reminders that the boundaries we construct, between life and afterlife, sanity and madness, are far more permeable than we'd like to believe. For many, visiting a haunted site feels like stepping into a twilight zone where the rules of reality no longer apply, igniting both curiosity and unease. Architecturally, haunted places contribute to this atmosphere of dread through their design. Long, sterile hallways lined with identical doors create a sense of disorientation, while poor lighting and echoing acoustics heighten sensory awareness. These features mimic the psychological effects of anxiety and claustrophobia, making even mundane sounds, a distant cough, the hum of fluorescent lights, feel ominous. The labyrinthine layouts of older structures, with their hidden wings and underground tunnels, evoke feelings of entrapment and uncertainty. Every corner becomes a potential threat, every shadow a possible harbinger of danger. This environmental manipulation taps into our instinctual fight-or-flight response, keeping us perpetually on edge. Cultural influences also play a significant role in shaping our fascination with haunted places. Media representations, from films like The Shining to television series such as American Horror Story, have cemented the trope of the haunted asylum, courthouse, or battlefield as a locus of horror. These portrayals often blend historical truths with fictional embellishments, creating a mythology that blurs fact and fiction. Audiences are drawn to these stories because they reflect societal anxieties about institutional power, systemic injustice, and the fragility of the human mind. Haunted places become microcosms of larger fears, the loss of agency, the misuse of authority, and the haunting specter of mistakes made in the name of progress. Moreover, haunted places appeal to our desire for catharsis. Engaging with these tales allows us to process our own fears about mortality, injustice, and the flaws inherent in systems meant to protect us. By confronting ghostly apparitions and unexplained phenomena, we externalize internal anxieties, transforming abstract fears into tangible adversaries. This vicarious experience provides a safe outlet for exploring the darker aspects of human existence, offering both thrill and relief. It's no wonder that ghost tours and paranormal investigations of haunted places attract participants eager to test their courage against the unknown. Ultimately, the enduring allure of haunted places lies in their ability to mirror our deepest fears while challenging our understanding of reality. They remind us that the past is never truly buried, that pain and injustice leave indelible marks on both people and places. As we walk their haunted halls, we are forced to confront not only the spirits said to inhabit them but also the ghosts within ourselves, the regrets, doubts, and unanswered questions that linger long after the wounds have healed. In doing so, we find a strange comfort in knowing that we are not alone in our fears, that others have walked these same paths and emerged, shaken but alive, to tell their stories. As we bring this chilling journey through Oregon's most haunted places to a close, one thing becomes abundantly clear: the spirits of the past refuse to be silenced. Each creaking floorboard, each whispered name, and each fleeting shadow serves as a testament to lives lived, lost, and lingering in the spaces we dare to call haunted. These stories are more than mere campfire tales. They are fragments of history, stitched together by human emotion, tragedy, and the relentless passage of time. They remind us that the line between the living and the dead is far thinner than we might believe, and that sometimes, the most terrifying truths lie just beyond the veil. But why stop here? If these accounts have stirred something within you, a spark of curiosity, a shiver of excitement, I urge you to take the next step. Visit one of Oregon's haunted places yourself. Walk the same halls where spirits are said to roam, stand in the rooms where history's echoes reverberate, and let the unknown brush against your senses. Whether you're a skeptic seeking proof or a believer eager to commune with the other side, these forsaken institutions offer an unparalleled opportunity to confront the mysteries that lie just beyond comprehension. There's nothing quite like experiencing the weight of decades-old despair firsthand, feeling the chill of a presence that defies explanation, or hearing the faint strains of voices from another time. And when you return, share your story. Did you feel the icy touch of a ghostly hand? Hear the faint tap of footsteps in an empty corridor? Or perhaps nothing happened at all, but isn't that silence just as intriguing? Your experiences add to the rich tapestry of lore surrounding these haunted places, ensuring their legacies endure for generations to come. Share your findings with fellow enthusiasts, document your journey, and keep the conversation alive. After all, every whisper contributes to the symphony of the supernatural. Until then, keep your lanterns lit and your courage steady. The spirits are waiting.